Live from the heart of America, I'm Steve Gruber, ready to deliver an inclusive, diverse discussion on the most important topics of the day, giving you better analysis and insight than anyone else. Shining a spotlight on the cockroaches inside the swamp that are running wild. Just to find truth and some hope. Here's 3 big things you need to know today. Number 1, Riley Gaines absolutely shreds feeble Joe Biden and the president's promise to veto legislation to defend and protect women under Title IX. Number 2, Fox News settled a massive lawsuit with Dominion voting machines, and the money is almost $800 million, but it's better than the $1.6 billion they're being asked to put over, so there you go. Number 3, today it is time to return to some basics. Remind ourselves that words do in fact matter, and the definitions of words matter, and the things that we say matter. Today we're going to work through some definitions that most of us would find to be, well, fairly simple. But it seems more and more people are struggling with these things. I don't understand. I mean, my mother was a school teacher, my father was a science major, so words were very important to both of my parents, and they taught all of their kids the importance of understanding things with clear definitions. So when the blatantly obvious is just ignored, or worse, it is perverted so that it can be applied to some political agenda, no matter how inaccurate or dishonest it is, I find it appalling. One of the biggest problems in recent years is the collaboration of online companies and even online dictionaries to blatantly change the definition of words just to fit the political narrative they want, which is pretty much always to the left. Now that's why I'm a big fan of old World Book encyclopedias. I have 2 full sets, one from 1957, another one from the 1960s. And if I have questions about something that happened or what is true, and I don't trust what I'm reading online, which happens, I go to the old standby, the World Book. Books, old books, are a very good thing to keep around for that very reason. You see, you cannot just erase people, places, or definitions based on the political whim or wind of the day. No AI can chew it up. ChatGPT, even with all of its artificial intelligence, cannot find its way into the musty pages of the back aisles of libraries, whether it's mine or one built by a guy named Andrew Carnegie. He hasn't been erased yet either. Are you with me so far? Because it's time to get going. A lot of folks this week talking about, and Democrats celebrating, International Women's Day. And yet, despite doing this, the Secretary of the Department of Education still refuses to say what a woman actually is, can't define it. Miguel Cardona, flat out would not do it. Listen to this.
So, can you please tell me, or can you please define for me, what is a woman?
Our focus at the department is to provide equal access to students, including students who are LGBTQ, access free from discrimination.
Is that, so what's the definition of a woman? You haven't given me that. You haven't answered my question.
I think that's almost secondary to the important role that I have as Secretary of Education.
My question is not secondary. My question is very simple. What does HHS say the definition of a woman is?
I lead the Department of Education, and my job is to make sure that all students have access to public education, which includes co-curricular activities. And I think you highlighted pretty well the importance of Title IX in giving students equal access, whether it's scholarship and facilities, so education as well.
Yeah. Title IX, by the way, is not to give students equal access. It's to give girls and women equal access. You see, for me, it's very easy. An adult female human being, that is a woman, the one who ovulates and bears children, the one that picked me up when I fell, dusted me off, and sent me out the door, the one that kicked or threatened to kick my butt if I didn't straighten up. That was my mom, the school teacher. She was a strong woman who left a lasting impression on me and others, and I am fully certain that she, yes, she, would find Dylan Mulvaney and the entire transgender trend to define stupidity. There's a word for you. It seems those on the left want to spend a lot of time bumping their gums while saying almost nothing of actual relevance or value. They want to define parents as terrorists for defending their kids, and white people as racist, but fail on so many other terms it really is embarrassing. Let's try another one, shall we? That they talk so much about that it should be easy, but apparently it's just not. Because in another hearing, Joe Biden's director of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms was asked to define what is an assault weapon. Listen.
As a gun owner of many different types and a 20-year military veteran, I have some expertise in weaponry and self-defense weapons. what could you, in 15 seconds, would you define an assault weapon for me?
So
If you go past 15 seconds, I'll just interrupt you.
no, so I'll go shorter than that, because I honestly, I do think that's if Congress wishes to take that up, I think Congress would have to do the work, but we would be there to provide technical assistance. Unlike you, I'm not a firearms expert to the same extent as you may be, but we have people at ATF who can talk about velocity of firearms, what damage different kinds of firearms cause, so that whatever determination you chose to make would be an informed.
So there you go. The director of the ATF has no idea what he's talking about. He's not a gun expert. Well, then why the hell is he in charge of the ATF? Inside the Beltway, there were a lot of hearings Tuesday, like the two you've already seen. There might be the definition of futility, these hearings, but I also found one that is absolutely the definition of smackdown. Smackdown. That's the definition we need here today. When a sitting senator refuses to accept a bullcrap answer, that Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri absolutely hammers Secretary Mayorkas for his failing work on the border of this country. Listen to this.
What we do is we enforce the law. But let me just say this.
You're not.
It is stunning to me, stunning, to hear you say that the prior administration reunited children with their parents.
Oh, I see.
When
So
in
this
fact-
is their fault?
When in
so
fact...
you're not going to take any responsibility for the indentured servitude and exploitation of children that is happening on your watch. A moment ago, you were crowing about the fact that you treated children so well, and yet we find tens of thousands of children who are forced to work as slaves because of your policies, and you turn around and blame a prior administration. Mr. Secretary, this is par for the course for you. You do it every time you appear before this committee. You do it every time you appear before Congress. I, for one, am sick and tired of it, and thousands of children are in physical danger because of what you are doing. You should have resigned long ago, and if you cannot change course, you should be removed from office. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
By the way, that's the definition of a threat about your job. Yeah, because it's about to get worse at the border. We're going to get to that. But there is the definition of a smackdown. Hard. Right across the face. What are you talking about? You're blaming the last administration for the exploitation of children. Do you realize now there are some 80,000, 85,000 kids? They have no idea where they are. Remember how the Democrats sat there and yelled and screamed and complained because the Trump administration had misplaced a few thousand kids. They didn't know where they were. That number is now 85,000, and the Democrats are, well, completely silent. That's the definition of hypocrisy. We're here to define words today. That's the definition of hypocrisy. 85,000 kids just missing. Child labor, human trafficking, sex slavery, all of these things. They have no idea where these kids are. What we're having here today is the definition of reality check. It will continue after the break. This is the Steve Gruber Show.